Hello, on this Monday, last day of the month. 30 days says September, April, June. Yes, last one. Woohoo! Cheryl Anderson here. Today's topic I was thinking about is self-consciousness. Is it good or bad? Now, this played a big part in my life when I was younger, and I know it plays a huge role in girls' lives, women's lives. I mean, I'm sure men too, but I can only speak from my female perspective. I used to be just about crippled by it. I constantly felt that I was being looked at or noticed for all of the wrong reasons. That, someone might see hi Sandy, that someone might be looking at me because they're just thinking, oh, how ugly is she? Or how fat is she? Or look what she's trying to do. Who's she fooling? I mean, my imagination was just corrupted, absolutely corrupted. So what was happening in any situation, there could have been people that were looking through me. I mean, we've all done it. We walk along the shops and we're just sort of gazing off into the wherever, and people are moving in and out of our field of view. So we're not necessarily looking at them or taking notice of them. But in my situation, when I was younger and I was going through, this dreadful sense of negative self-consciousness, that I thought any interaction, anyone looking at me, hi Sarah, how you doing? The whole thing in my head was just so negative. I didn't give myself an inch, ever. The entire time I was constantly on my case. If you were thinner, you would look better. If you were prettier, it would be easier. If you were more, insert whatever here into the sentence. So what happened was, everywhere I went, everything I did came with this negative headspace. Thank you. I think you understand. Oh, I nearly cried then. I just need a moment. It's a horrible thing. It's a really breathe in, breathe out. It's debilitating. I look back. Just one moment. It's really horrible, isn't it? I feel so sorry for my younger self, all of that, the fear. There was a lot of fear because we all just want to be accepted, right? Wow, I can't believe So what happens when we don't understand is, and we live in a world that's constantly judging us, and women, we are encouraged by mainstream media to compare ourselves to anything, to a magazine, to the next door neighbour, to someone at the shop, to your hairdresser, to anybody. Now, in that, it is so corruptive to the female mind and to how we function. Men don't get it. They don't get it yet. I mean, it's a new science as well to understand women this way. It's epigenetics, which is, it's been studied since the 50s and 60s, but it hasn't been mainstream until fairly recently, in the understanding of how different a female's brain is from a male's brain. And it's not that it's bigger or smaller or it's a different color. It is actually wired differently. Our eyes are different. Did you know that? They're actually different, literally different. You can take them out and there are physicalities that are the differences. Sorry, I got my words a bit mixed up there. There's, like I've said before, women have 23% more connectivity between the left and the front hemispheres of the brain. So that where we can shift between creative to, logical, between the left and the right brain, like that. It's because we're women, because we are the carers. We are creators. We create life. So we are designed differently. Everything in our bodies is so different to men, yet all studies and everything have been sculptured around men or designed by men, and it's not their fault. But it will be, in a few years if men don't catch up and things start to change. So what happens for us, we take everything way more personally. Now, it's not just some flippant thing, oh, you're being over emotional. Well, yes, I am, because that's who I am. It's how I function as a woman. It's here. It happens here. We have 8 times more, 8 times more crying emotion than men. All right, so we're 8 times 8. There's a sad scene in a movie. 8 times sooner, we're already feeling this and empathizing with it, right? Oh, it's quite hot today. I have a mustache, a sweat mustache. So for women, when we hear things, we not necessarily take them to heart. We take them to body, to everywhere. We feel it everywhere. It's not just a psychological thing. Like men, the way men think, they have a different way of seeing things. They're very A to B, and they don't really notice much in the middle either. That's why your boyfriend, your husband, your son, whoever, can be heading off to the bathroom to go have a shower and walk past a pile of dirty clothes or something that they could take and drop off in the laundry or put something in the bin along the way. And we wonder, why do you not do that? Why do you not pick that up and take it with you? It's because men don't think that way. So if people could, much needed advice, I still freeze. It's a crazy thing, isn't it? But once you start to understand, once someone like me sits in front of their camera and their computer and starts speaking these things, women everywhere start going, really? I'm not crazy. Really? I'm not a nut job or some over-emotional, blubbering loser. In fact, quite the opposite. We're designed in such a way that I can understand why men are a little put off by women, a little scared. We have a lot of natural talents, just bing, 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 bing. But because we are inclined to feel bad or put ourselves down or put ourselves last or not even acknowledge any emotional response for ourselves. So therein lies the problem. We're an emotional creature, yet we don't interact with that. We don't allow that, and society doesn't want us to. I'm talking in general society, right? Society is not really a real thing. It's just a collective idea of what we consider to be correct behaviour or incorrect behaviour, or as a whole, we as a group decide what is good or bad. However, there's very blurry lines along this scale. So, we all know there's certain things. I mean, as a group, we can go, yes, we don't like, murder or harming children or elderly, or, be polite in public and don't push people over, don't steal off them. But at either end, while you're trying to find a balance, there's a huge grey area out there. So that's where people can get lost, or they can bring in some really naff behaviour and try to sneak it in under the radar. So back to what I was saying about self-consciousness. I was so negatively self-conscious, because it's great to be positively self-conscious of, here I am, I'm a vibrant person and I've got a good heart, I like to help, I like to give, I like to assist. This kind of self-consciousness, a consciousness of who you are at your core, not what you look like, how much do you weigh, how much did you earn, what kind of car do you drive, what kind of underwear do you have, do you wear fancy bras? That's got nothing to do with it. However, the negative side, we bring all of that in. Ever since we were little girls, we have listened to the television, our neighbours, politicians, people on television. It just goes on and on and on. And we took it all in, every last little bit. Now, we'd all have to agree there hasn't been a lot of positive going on for women. So the majority of what we pick up and adopt into our mind as part of our functioning brain, the one that we think and judge and deem things by, becomes very clouded with mixed and negative messages about who we are and how comfortable we can allow ourselves to be in our own bodies. I find it's nearly a crime against humanity that this happens. So for me, let's just go back to me. It's much easier for me to tell my story. I wanted to crawl out of my own skin. I hated myself so much. I could not find anything that I liked. I always thought I was just revolting. That was it. That I was never worth it. I was never worth time or effort or, and everything. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't tall enough. It didn't matter. I might get ready to go out and I just do one of those really good makeups, that you just go, that worked out really well, or your hair goes great, or you got an outfit that you feel really good in. As soon as I'd move away from the mirror, which was, while I'm putting it all on and looking, going, oh, that looks quite nice. As soon as I'd move away, bang, it was gone. And I'd instantly feel like crap. So I wanted to find out, why did this happen? Why did everybody else seem to have their shit together? And all these pretty women, and they were, I don't know, they liked themselves. I wanted that. I wanted to know how to be that. How could I like myself when I was so revolting? The two just didn't make sense to me. I thought, maybe I'm just a loser. That's it. I'm just a loser. Oh, that will be it. But that was a cop-out. It was just too easy. I can't just go, oh, I'm a loser. Oh, well, because that's a lie, an absolute big fat lie. So as I went along, I realized that what was happening was there was so much thought in my mind that wasn't my thought. It had nothing to do with who Cheryl was. It had nothing to do with my creativity, with my dreams, with my relationships with my friends or family, none of it. It was disjointed. It made no sense. So here was I trying to put a bogus language into my head and then try to live by it. So it was never going to work because it was designed to keep me down, to keep me not liking myself, because then I won't be a powerful, strong female if I don't like myself, will I? So, powers that be on this planet don't want a lot of really strong women running around, do they? Because we might actually fix things and get on with making the planet a better place. Anyway, I digress. So then I started to realize that what was happening was I was adopting too many, I was listening to too many people's opinions. I was watching television and letting all of that shit into my brain without any filter whatsoever. So you watch things like, I don't know, some of them are so degrading to women. They just objectify women and they commodify women, which means turning us into a commodity to be sold, rented, leased, but made money off. So you probably all heard that, I don't know who said it first. It was a woman, I'm not quite sure who. If every woman woke up tomorrow and just liked herself, industries would crumble. Billion-dollar industries would crumble like that. Isn't that distressing? To think billion-dollar industries have been built around us feeling dreadful about ourselves. Now, I started to learn that, one, this meat suit that I get around in is my home. I live in a unit. My home lives in this unit, but I live in this home, this body. Yet I live in a world that wants to have an opinion on my home, that wants to tell me how I should be dressing up or dressing down my home. They want to put it up for discussion. Some men want to have a say about it. Hey, show us this. Hey, do that. Hey, buddy, what? So then I realised, okay, what was going to happen was I was going to have to fill my mind with the thoughts that were congruent with the woman that I was and the woman that I wanted to be, instead of that poor broken shell that was trying all the time, desperately, to do whatever it was that would make her feel accepted. Because I could pretend, I was really good at pretending to be positive and happy and, oh, you darling girl. There's all of us pretend. And as soon as we start saying it, as soon as you start saying it, women go, oh my God, I'm not, she's saying that. Oh my God, I've always thought I was a fake. No, you were a survivor. A survivor. You know what? Because we learn to mimic. We learn to do what we need to do to keep the peace, to keep safety here, because we are creators. We create life. So we're sure as hell going to protect that life, right? So we'll do whatever we need to create an environment that is protecting and it's safe and it's secure and it's nurturing and it's loving. And if it means we have to pretend, then we'll do it. But what happens is we get so good at it, we keep pretending until eventually there's no remnant of who we are left. We're just this puppet or a warm prop, like a prop in a movie, you know, we're just this person moving around doing our thing. Now, can't blame society for forever. You can right up until the point where you realise, oh, okay, it's all up to me. I just need to change what's going on in here. I need to take out the words from people that I don't even know. I need to take out song lyrics, movie dialogue. There's so many catchphrase things that go on. You've got to take them out. Bit by bit by bit. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Anything that does not support a woman as she is, how she chooses to be. If she wants to wear her undies for a week, which you wouldn't, but if you did, that's your business. If you want to be bald or wear a horsehair wig, that's your own business. If you want to do whatever, as long as you're not harming anybody, you're not misleading your children, or, you know, that we all know, right, there's, you know, a limit. However you want to be, whoever you are at your core, because most women are just beautiful, happy, nurturing, caring, funny, usually a bit goofy. Women can be really goofy because we have this part of our brain, because we're predictably unpredictable. That's how a female's brain works. Because of a day, imagine this, you're, let's go back to caveman times, right? The ancient brain. Here we were, the men would leave, dun, 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 off going into the fields or wherever to go get dinner. They could be gone for days, right? The women had to do everything else. Keep everything going. The community, keep everything going, right? So we are constantly on the float. The brain's on the float. What's going on? Okay, do that now. Take that out. Oh, I can do that now because they're going here. Okay, if you're going over there, please take this with you, give it to them, and then they can bring that back. It's this constant update, upgrade, information in, information out. Job done, new job done. So we actually have to keep upgrading what we're doing. So you get up in the morning, you've got to take the kids to school, you got to take Betty to ballet, and you got to take Johnny to football, yet the car breaks down in the middle. And you're like, ah! So you ring your sister or someone, can you come and get Johnny and Betty, and can you take them to soccer or to football and dancing? So then immediately, right, the plans change. You're broken down. Now you've got someone taking your kids. So you have to change again. Okay, I've got to get this done, get this fixed. Right, the guy's not going to be here to tow my car for half an hour. I'm 5 minutes from the shops. I'm just going to walk down there and pick up the few things I need, come back to the car. I'll wait for him then. Then I will go here and I'll meet my sister. She can drop my kids back to me this afternoon. This is just an example, a silly one, but what would have been a normal day changed. So women can really swing along on the fly. Most women I've met are really, really good at this because it's a natural talent that we have to be able to do this. So when men say, oh, she's always changing her mind, you go, yeah, I am. Aren't you lucky? Because we've been sitting on the side of the road with the kids in the back of the car and nothing would have happened if I couldn't. So going back to the to feeling self-conscious. Self-consciousness will stop when your value, yourself, outweighs what you think society thinks of you. It's like, I learnt this, I sold new cars for Toyota, years and years and years and years and years and years ago, for about, 3 months. And I remember them saying, and I've never forgotten, you can sell a car provided you can bring the value up $1 more than the price. So if someone values it more than the price, they'll buy it. But if you can't get the value up, they won't buy it. It is the same thing in our heads. Now, it's an addiction. We are stuck with thinking this way. We get into a comfort zone of thinking negative stuff about ourselves, even though it's horrible. We feel horrible. It deflates us, and it leaves us with that, like a big, heavy bowling ball in our gut feeling, and it's horrible. It's just horrible. But once you can start to see your own value as greater than what you think society sees you as, there you are. Now, how to do it is simply, sit down and decide to write down 3 things that you're good at. And I mean, write them down. You can burn it and throw it away straight up, but you have to do the writing, because this forms with this, and then it goes in and it starts to stay. So we can see we're doing it. We're thinking it, so we're activating all of these systems within us, okay? Once you have 3 things, then what you do is then you sit, and each one you have a moment of feeling gratitude, even though they're things that you do that are just you, gratitude, because there's other people on the planet that don't have those things. This is simply a start. It's very, very basic. But it is it's a road that there is a road out of it, most definitely, but it's going to challenge every single belief that went into your brain, because as it's coming out, it's going to kick and scream, and it's going to try to hang on its way out. But if I know you, as we women are, we can be a little stubborn. And I tell you what, ladies, when you're doing this, that's the time to be stubborn. Once you get that idea, someone might have told you when you were a little girl that you were too short or fat or ugly or had ugly hair or what are the terrible things people tell children. Pick those things. You'll have them. You'll remember them. Once you get into this, start to think this way, you'll start to remember these moments, and you'll think, wow, some of them will just come up and you haven't thought about them in like forever. And all you simply do is like eating chips. You're going to do them one at a time. Okay? One at a time. Don't let it get a big wash. Oh my God, I've got to save myself and stop thinking this way by 3 o'clock today. No, you don't. You're going to do it little step by little step. You might do one today and you might forget about it for the next month. That's fine too. But eventually, bit by bit, you're going to replace in here, you're going to take out all of the old dialogue that doesn't belong to you, and you're going to put in the loving dialogue that does belong to you. And step by step, what happens is you become less interested in the crap and way more interested in exploring who you are, because it's a really, really nice feeling. I don't try to crawl out of my skin anymore. That was huge for me to get to that point. I thought I was going to be like that forever, but not the case. So that's my video today. God, 25 minutes. One day I'm going to do a 3-minute video. One day. But while I keep having these chats, they're of such importance to women, I think, because if someone could have spoken to me like this when I was 19 or 20 or whatever. Wow, what a difference that would have made, right? What a huge difference that would have made. However, it's not the case. Yet I sit here now, I really, really like who I am now because I've been through the struggles. I've been through the crap and the up, the down, the round and around, and I like who I am. I really like who I am. So it is worth it. It is of value. It does take time. But like I said, remember, it's like eating chips, one at a time. Well, maybe not chips, because, I mean, I can stuff a handful of them in. What do you eat one at a time? Now, think of something that you eat one at a time. And that's your mantra for when you're doing this. And again, all of these videos are stuff that you can teach children, because imagine stopping this before it got to being a problem. Imagine every little girl never, ever, ever hearing that she wasn't enough, or that who she wasn't good enough, wasn't fast enough or pretty enough. Imagine if that toxic crap, well, there will be a day where there'll be no more toxic crap. But imagine that. Every little girl doesn't have that in her head anymore. That'd be pretty amazing. Anyway, I'm going to head off now after my little short video. And look, I really don't mind if anybody wants to ask questions, or if you want to even instant message me. I'm more than happy for that. Because, like Pam was saying, I mean, we still, even as grown women, have moments where we're like the little 5-year-old child comes out and just freaks out and freezes. You don't have to be like that. And I'm here to help. End of story. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today and listening in. And I will be back again on Friday, same time, same bat channel. That's if people remember Batman back in the day. Same bat channel. Anyway, it's been lovely talking, and I'll see you all again on Friday. Now, if you like the videos, please consider sharing them. And if you want to see more of my videos, there is a link at the bottom of the description box where I put them all across to my YouTube channel because they're just easier to find. Alrighty, thank you, and I've loved it. Take care, ladies. Be well and be kind to yourself. Bye now.